In today's video, I'm going to show you 3 ways to make food tracking a lot easier. Let's go. Hi, I'm Aleksa, sports dietitian, nutrition coach. Welcome again to one of my videos. Now, before we get into today's topic and for me to share those free tips, remember, do subscribe and ring that bell so you can stay in the loop with all of my videos. Food tracking is a key part of flexible dieting because it enables you to have strategic control over your calories and your macros. I personally use MyFitnessPal, and that's what I get my athletes to use as well. But you can use whatever similar app there is out there that you yourself prefer. Just keep in mind that the more popular the app, the more likely chance it is that the database is going to be more accurate. Either way, if you've started food tracking, then you would have already realized that there is a bit of a learning curve when it comes to it. And at the end of the day, sometimes just doing it, just grabbing yourself a scale and tracking your food can become a bit tedious. This is especially true if you're also a very busy athlete who's struggling to just juggle everything in your life already, from sport to your personal life. That is why I want to share free things, like free tips, so to speak, that's going to help you food track a lot easier so that it becomes less of a burden and you can actually sustain this behavior and get better results. So without further ado, let's make food tracking easier for you. Here we go. The number one tip I have when it comes to food tracking is become friends with the scanner. So what do I mean by this? Quite simply, most food tracking apps, especially MyFitnessPal, has a tool, so to speak, a scanning tool where you can literally scan barcodes of food and look it up in that easy way. So you're not having to worry about which option should I choose. It gives you your option. So that all you have to do is cross-check it to the label, make sure it's an accurate database. So you can, if not, you have to choose a different one, but scan it, check that it's accurate, log it accurately using the food scale. As I mentioned, you can't go wrong. The scanner is honestly something that used to not be on the app back years ago when I was using the app. And then when I started using the app a couple of years later, I noticed the scanning system, and honestly, it just made things so much more simple. It's something that I make sure every single one of my clients knows when they first get started, because it's as simple as beep, beep, log, done. So yeah, if you haven't already done so, try the scanner. You can usually find it in the corner. So, okay, you have like a little scanning barcode symbol. Click that. It's all self-explanatory from there. The second thing is the recipe feature. Now, I believe all food tracking apps have this, but if they don't, you definitely want to find an app that does, hence why I recommend MyFitnessPal, because I know that it covers you for all these tips that I'm going to share with you today. But the recipe feature is so good because at the end of the day, we're not just eating meals that are just like protein, the carbs and the veggies or whatever, or just one single food. We're likely making recipes, we're making complex meals, we're making lasagnas and things like that. And you want to be accurate because little inaccuracies across the day will add up. Next minute, you'll be that person saying, I'm eating within my calories, but I'm not getting the results. It's because the accuracy might not quite be there. Okay, and this is very, very common. Okay, it's happening to me when I first got started as well. But with the recipe feature and doing that correctly, you can't go wrong because you're literally making the recipe, including all the foods, and then getting the accurate portion sizes so you can actually log it effectively. Now, a little extra tip when it comes to the recipes, what you want to do is make up the whole batch, weigh up the whole batch, and use that number as the number of serving sizes that recipe gives you. Because then what you can do, and this is my favorite way to log, because I don't always necessarily work, and this recipe gives you 4 portions, I eat the exact 4 portions. I don't work that way. I like to be able to portion as I go. And if you want to portion to the gram, doing this enables you to actually be more effective because you can actually measure your recipe to the gram. You can literally scoop out 200 grams and you'll know exactly what is in there, no matter how many serves the original recipe said there was. But yeah, if you haven't used the recipe feature yet, trust me, I want you right after you finish today's video, I want you to go and start playing around with the recipe feature, because the more you practice it, the easier it gets, and start putting in some more simple recipes and build up from there. Once you've got that down pat, you've got a whole database of recipes to go back on. It makes tracking just so much more easier. And then the third thing is reverse weighing. Now you're like, what is reverse weighing? I thought I just grab the scale, plop the food on there and weigh it. Yes, that is one way to do it, and that's the most common way, of course, because that's what you're thinking. But reverse weighing is very, very simple, and it's a lot more effective in some ways because you can have a lot more control over certain types of food. For example, let's use a classic example, okay, spreads and things like peanut butter. What you want to do is you've got your bread, and if you've got your bread on here, and then you've got your peanut butter separately, and then you scoop the peanut butter and put it on there, and you're like, oh, okay, it gives me 30 grams. Okay, well, I was hoping for 15 or whatever it is. So to become more effective, you do what's called reverse weighing. And that's what happens is, so imagine there's a peanut butter thing here, okay, peanut butter jar. You put it on here, and then you scoop it up from there. You zero it out, of course, and then you scoop it from there so you can actually get it to the gram, because it'll tell you how much you're scooping out. And that way you can actually have full control over how much of a specific food you are actually adding onto your plate or into your recipe and so on and so forth, rather than kind of guessing and going, okay, well, it is what it is. Okay, so reverse weighing makes it a lot more easier, and it's just kind of a unique little way of doing it, and you'll be surprised how many of my clients don't realize you can do it. So when I show them this, it's a changer. Okay, so I hope that helps. So just to quickly recap, so number 1, use the scanner. Number 2, use the recipe feature. Number 3, try some reverse weighing where needed. Using those 3 tips, you're gonna make food tracking a lot more simple. Not to mention a lot more effective and a lot more specific. So in turn, that should get you better results too. So there you go, that's my 3 tips, and I do hope that they have been helpful for you. I do hope they create less friction with the art of food tracking so you can actually get better results and do it more sustainably. What I want you to do now is comment below. Okay, comment below on this video and tell me, how long have you personally been food tracking for? Okay, how long have you been counting calories and or macros? I'll be curious to hear. Of course, if you're someone who's brand new and you haven't done it yet and you've just been thinking about it and kind of contemplating it, well, what I want to know is, what are you hoping to get out of it? Okay, what is your reason for wanting to do food tracking? Okay, knowing that, I can perhaps give you some pointers of how to get started. Of course, as always, if you want me to personally help you, okay, if you want to work one-on-one with me as your sports dietitian to help develop a customized nutrition plan for you that uses the flexible approach so you can get results as an athlete, whether that's in performance, in health, in weight loss, or in muscle gain, let me know, okay? In the description notes below, you'll be able to find my email if you want to send me some questions about what I do. Otherwise, if you're ready to apply, there is also a link in the description below to apply for my 90-day Macro Sherpa program, which is basically like an on-ramp to get you kick-started with the right approach to nutrition and get you moving the needle and start reaching that peak potential. So if you're interested, reach out, we'll have a chat, we'll see if it's a good fit to work together. As always, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if this video has been helpful, giving you some nice pointers that's going to help you out. Stay classy. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.